Okay guys, before we start the video, just quickly, First Man is so much more than just a YouTube channel. We've got digital products, we've got physical products. The digital products include courses, books, ebooks, etc. And the physical products is everything from supplements to clothing to grooming products to the paperback physical copy of our book. So the two links will be below. Go and check them out, guys. And now back to the video you came here to watch. Okay, guys, welcome back to another video. This video, I did promise it earlier on the community feed. It's going to be a little bit longer. And I'm definitely going to need my phone. I'm going to need my notes. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll try and scroll. It's probably got to the bottom by now. That's all the notes that I was making earlier. So I'm going to have to go through a bunch of this. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because this gets spoken about a lot, but it comes from a perspective of guys who, many of which do not get women, many of which who are not attracting women. I'm in a position in my life, or at least I've got to a position in life now, where it's regular, it's beautiful women. This will be coming from a perspective of a guy who's not angry, who is in the top 1%, who is that guy that, when people speak about, oh, there's a small percentage of guys that are sleeping with all the women. Without sounding like a dick, based on what's going on in my life, I would assume I'm in that bracket. If I'm not, then, there must be some guys out there doing very, very well. And obviously there's guys always doing better than you and worse than you and whatever, but I would say without a doubt I'm in that bracket. If I could post, which I never would, but if I could post the type of women or the exact women that I've slept with in the last year or so, just for example, I'd probably have a lot more followers because people would be like, wow, this guy's legit. But I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's fair. But the whole topic of this video, and, I'll look down at my phone and then I'll come back to you guys and whatever. But the whole topic of this video is that modern dating in the West is draining me. And the reason it's starting to drain me is, and this is strange, this is why I wanted to make this video, because it's draining me, and yet I'm getting great results off it. That's how bad it's become. And you guys have got to understand, right, that I am a self-improvement guy. My whole job, if somebody asked me, what do you do for a job? I guess I could say, I find solutions to male problems. That's pretty much, I would put that on a business card or something. I find solutions to male problems because that's what I do. That's what my videos are about. That's what my supplements are about. My body wash, my boxers, my streaming platform. I find solutions to male problems. And I'll wrap all this together. But here's another thing about me. I am a bit of a degenerate. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm very, when people say, oh, these toxic guys, that's me. I'm that guy. Okay, I'm a little bit of a nightmare. I will fuck girls, I won't message them back. I won't give a shit. I'll go out, as I told you guys before. I will sit at a bar, I will talk to nobody. I'll just be that stranger at the bar. I'll pay nobody any attention. I'll be, one or two response words to women, a little bit of a dick. And then somehow I end up going home with women. And it kind of pisses me off because I'm like, this is weird. This is backwards. How does this work? I don't like this. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, let's say if I was, so you guys, I'm 30 years old. For those of you who don't know, when I was like 18 years old, going out for the first time, 18, 19, 20, around those years, where I really hit the clubs hard and loved all that shit, I would approach every beautiful woman that I saw. And some, yeah, some no, some have got a boyfriend, whatever. But they would all, be open to the idea. They would entertain the idea. And you had to, we always had a phrase, it was silly, but it was like you had to talk your way into her pants. Do you know what I mean? It was that sort of thing. You had to be the guy at the bar who had a few jokes, who, could dance a little bit, and now it's all changed. Now it's all changed. And what I mean by that, when I'm linking it all together, okay, is like I said, I'm some toxic, degenerate guy who sleeps around far too much. They're all beautiful women, but far too much. And yet somehow I'm sought after, or I get results, or I can go out and take someone home. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that there's guys out there that are very good guys that have barely ever slept with anybody, who have got strong religious beliefs, who might be saving themselves for marriage. And girls would be like, oh no, he's a little bit short. I just find all that ridiculous, okay? And when I bring it all full circle, what I mean by the self-improvement stuff for myself is that I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't support it. That may come through in some of my videos sometimes. That when I say the reason I don't chase women, it might be like, okay, this guy's telling us to be this way. I'm telling you to be that way if you want to get results. I'm not saying I support it. I'm not saying I like it. But at the end of the day, what can you do? And I'll jump back to that point in a minute because there's something I want to explain on that. But I don't want to lose my point on here. Like I was saying, I don't like it, but it's a solution for a problem. And this is what I do. This is my job. When I was 18, it was different. In my mid-20s and probably mid-20s, I struggled with women. I didn't really know what to do. The whole game had changed. I'd been in a relationship for 4 years. I was like, what the fuck is all this about? This is different. I don't get it. So I learned what was going on. I figured it out. And I'm now in a situation where I think I've somewhat mastered it. Am I the best in the world? No, but like I've mastered it to an extent where I can get what I want. I just don't like the way in which I have to do it. Everybody's walking on eggshells. It's disgusting. It's almost like you meet a woman and Hamza phrased this the best in a video with Jack. I was watching it earlier to get some extra stuff ready for this video. And Hamza said something like it's almost a race to who can catch feelings first or something. He said something similar, right? And that's what it is. It's like, and if you win that race, you lose. Because I've had this with women. They've caught feelings first and it's like, I've got all the power. You know, I've said to a girl, and this isn't catching feelings, but we've been talking for like 2 weeks, super interested. And I'll be like, do you want to grab a coffee tomorrow? It's my only day off this week. Oh, so thirsty. You wanted to actually meet up. And you're like, fuck, what is that? What is that? Like, what? Why is that even a thing? Like, I know how it all works, and I know that, you know, what that insinuates, but still I'm sat there and going, like, I'm like, who cares? Move on. But, you know, what a stupid woman she must be. But at the same time, I'm thinking, meet up and go for a coffee. So then you realize, oh, what people are doing is just acquiring numbers. We're almost like taking souls. We're like vampires just sucking the blood out of people. Oh, he liked me. That gives me validation for another month before I feel like shit again with anxiety. And I'll probably drop him a text and be like, hey, sorry, I was busy. Do you want to meet up? And if he says yes, oh, I've got that buzz back again and I don't have to actually meet him. Thirsty guy. That's weird. That is weird. And I will remind you again, it's coming from a guy who has, you know, who is actively sleeping with women. Okay, and beautiful women. But even at times, I will get that. A woman who will just shut it down and just be like, just goes blank. And you're like, you're 20, let's say she might be like 27, 28 years old. You don't have an enormous amount of time left. You still look good, but you don't have an enormous amount of time left. You're willing to give up a guy who is, and I don't want this video to be like an angry look at me bragging about myself. I don't want it to be like some of these women in America that go nuts because some guys got some passports and went and got women abroad. It's not that. But if we were to do it logically and calmly, and we were to add this up, I'm a 6'2", 95 kilogram man who's making like probably, you know, on average in between 60 and 80,000 per month. Let's call it 70,000 per month, who has his own streaming platform, has about 6 or 7 different companies, so to speak, within this business, has, you know, social power, so to speak, has a cool life, has a penthouse, has a Range Rover, money in the bank, retired his mum, paid for his dad's funeral, did a speech at the funeral. Like this is somebody who's very accomplished, had a history in finance, is well educated, is articulate, who is calm, who can fight, you know, if need be, who is respected by people, you know, who, you know, has a skincare routine, very nice clothes and stuff like that, always smells good. You know, it's looking to start charities, even female charities, and you're like, that's not bad. Right? I don't want to toot my own horn, but you go, that's pretty good. Is in top 1% shape. Is in, you know, has top 1% wealth, if not maybe a little bit higher. And you go, that's weird that you would be like a 28-year-old woman. And it could be something so simple as, oh, he was free for a call. He's not busy. That's so unattractive. That's a red flag. It's like sometimes you just got 2 hours spare. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem. Is like, unless you're absolutely perfect in terms of being toxic, which I'm also very fucking good at if I need to be, well, then things fall apart. And I don't want to be like that. I don't necessarily like it. And this jumps me back to, I'll do it for results. Like I said, I'm a self-improvement guy. I find solutions to problems. I found a solution to a problem, but I don't like it. And I'll jump back to what I was going to say earlier. I was with a videographer the other day who's working on the stream platform with me. And we were talking about women because he's 21 years old. So we were talking about women, stuff like that. And I was like, look, here's the thing, mate. I was like, I don't like doing it. I don't really approve of it. But in business, be as polite as possible. Be as nice as possible. Help people out. Go over and beyond. When dealing with other men, same thing. Be polite to people. Help them. Show people respect. Elders, family members, kids, whatever. When it comes to women, treat them like shit. And I was like, and I hate myself for saying that. But if you don't, you won't get results. And this is the problem with the Western world. And I'm going to switch it over here because this is the problem with the Western world. And it started with me in Toronto. I was 22 years old in Toronto and I saw this beautiful mixed race girl. I went over in this club. I can't remember what the club was called now. Apartment 200, I think. Really, really nice place, actually. And I saw this girl. I went up to her and I just started opening conversation. I was who I was in the UK at the time, because I think the UK is behind Canada and America, and then every other region of the world catches up behind the UK. Like it almost like falls down, so to speak, which is an apology I got to give in a minute. Okay, I'll remind myself. But I went up to this girl and I was excitable. I was high energy. I was very, we had stuff like Geordie Shore at the time, and it was all about like expressions and stuff like that. These guys were super excitable, high energy. And she was kind of like laughing, a little bit put off, like standing back like that, wide-eyed. And in the end, she walked away. And this guy came over to me and he was like, dude, you need to relax, man. He was like, you're too thirsty. He was like, you just need to show her no attention. And I was like, how's that going to work? And then the UK really caught up with that shit. And now we've got the exact same thing that I saw out there. Where it's like, to be interested, you've got to show that you're not interested for as long as possible until she catches feet. What a silly game. What a silly game. And like I said, I'm winning at this game. I know how to play it. I can be a cunt if need be. But that's horrible. Because then I hear stories of like Jack in Thailand and how, him and Hamza were talking about the women and the conversations they were having and how down to earth they are. And you see some of these passport bros and you think, they're so fucking happy. They got everything they ever need. And you look at the Tates in Romania, and I can see now why they moved out there. And I actually want to give an apology to, and I guess the Tates would be in that bracket, but the kind of like American content creators. I always thought they were making a lot of videos to shit on women, which I still think there's an element of that. But I will say that it's becoming as bad here now as it was out there, or as it is out there. And if this is what they've been dealing with, now I can see the shit. I can see why they'd be the way they would be. Just these Cardi B type clones. And it's not every woman, especially around here, women aren't like that at all. But there's traits that overlap. And this is just a small town in England, and traits are starting to overlap. And people are starting to be that toxic. Everybody's scared to admit that they like somebody, because it's like, oh, my friends will laugh at me. I don't want to be the chaser. I want to be the one being chased. And it's just ridiculous. It's just leading to this situation where people are in their, like, for me as a man, it's fine. But there's a situation where women are in their 30s now and they're going, I'm still in my prime. I'm still in my prime. And they're getting super, super angry about it. And it's like, look, this isn't me or other men taking the piss out of you, ladies. We feel sorry for you to some extent. And, that can be quite, that can be quite patronizing. Oh, don't patronize us. That's disgusting. But I have to feel sorry for you because you've been fed lies. And Fresh and Fit, I've given them so much shit, but they've said this. And is it Myron or Byron? He makes so many good points along the way. I admire some of the stuff they say. There's just other issues that I've got a problem with. But like I said, I apologize for that one thing because they've got it bad out there. America's a shit show. And he's made some really good points in the past. And I think he said Beyonce and all these other girls, they're always saying, oh, single ladies, go it alone, but they're all married. And then when Jay-Z was like, you know, I've cheated on you. Oh, I'll come back to you. I'll cry a little bit and I'll come back to you. I'll make some songs to the left, to the left. I'll still come back to you. You know, I'll make some angry songs, but I'll still be with you. And all these girls are being fed lies and they're getting to like their 30s, their 40s, whatever. And they're going, everyone just wants to fuck me and then leave me. This is horrible. This is disgusting. Or I'm not getting any looks anymore. I was lied to. I was told that, you know, big is beautiful. I was told that by the time I hit 35, I'll be in my female peak and the sex will be better than ever. You've got to remember, it's a small selection of women. Just like at 18, it might be a small selection of what people call Chads and Tyrones. It's a very small selection of those guys that are actually getting the women. Very small selection. And for the rest of the guys, there's a process. You have to put, like I did, you have to put in work. You have to get in shape. You have to get some points on the board, earn some money, get in shape, learn the game. Start dating women, fuck up a few times, and then learn, oh, okay, I see how this works now. There's a process. And there's a process for women who are, you know, who are getting older. You have to stop the nights out, the shit food. You have to go to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week. You have to, you know, be all about beauty maintenance and longevity. Otherwise, you will just fall to the wayside. And this isn't being explained. And when somebody like myself comes out and explains it in a very calm, calculated, logical manner, who is 30 years old, who's seeing this happen among society day by day, among people I went to school with who are that age, and then now they're getting worried about it. So I'm like, okay, this shit's real. And they're having discussions with me about it. And then under this video, or at least if this gets shared and put on TikTok and stuff like that, I will get nothing but shit. I'll get absolutely nothing but shit. And it will just be stupid, childish comments. But I'll get nothing but shit. And you're like, you need to stop. You need to take self-accountability. And you need to realize, shit, I might have been lied to. It's like, if I had said to you guys, the male advantage is coming, keep putting in the work. And then I kind of got to 30, didn't really hit it. None of you guys hit it. And I just took the money and ran. You would have been like, you motherfucker. He set us all up. 30's terrible. But that didn't happen. You know, we're all getting better. We're seeing results of this all the time. You know, we're thriving the older we get. But with women, they'll say it gets better with age. And then you see the ones who aren't married, the ones who don't have kids, it's problem after problem after problem. It's depression. It's, will I ever find somebody? It becomes the biggest, most important part of their life, as it should, because it leads to family, it leads to children, it leads to all that stuff. As a man, it's the same with money. The closer you get to 30, if you're not successful, you start to panic. It's a little bit like, I just want to, you know, I want something now. I want to get some points on the board because nobody's going to take me seriously if I don't. And it's the same with women. They do have that body clock going on in their minds where it's just like, I need to get this ticked at some point. And do you know, the biggest thing that has awoken me to this year is the women that I've lost from having my degenerate mindset of the current world and the way that it operates. So I've trained my brain to be a toxic cunt. That's how I operate, okay? Like I said to you guys before, calm extrovert. I'm out, but I'm calm. I just don't treat women that well in terms of, you know, I'm not, like, I'll treat them well. I'll wine and dine. I'll take them out, and then I just ignore them or whatever. Even if there's no reason to, I'll do it just because it gets results. And it's like, that's disgusting, man. But like I said, it gets results. And at the end of the day, I'd probably rather have that than be that guy that's like, she rejected me, she turned me down, she ignored me. So it's like, this is the situation I got to. But there were some scenarios that I got in this summer, basically. So I turned 30. And I said to myself, I was like, I've turned 30, September's still boiling, this house gets hot as fuck in summer because it's at the top. And I was like, I'm just going to go to London. I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to date a lot. I'm going to fuck a lot. I'm going to have a few, you know, nights out and whatever, take some girls back and whatever. It got out of hand. It was just threesomes and also it got out of hand. That's not me bragging. Like I said, I'm not proud of it. It was fun at the time, but I'd never, as a 30-year-old man, I don't want to look at that and be like, guys, that's what you should strive for. So this is whose mouth it's coming from, okay? A guy who's getting, you know, good results. I don't want to dress it up to be, I don't want to sound like Dan Bilzerian or something crazy. But one of the girls that I was dating, she was, and this, I don't know why I've put this description together, but it sounds pretty fucking good. She was a 21-year-old Muslim virgin trainee doctor. How good does that sound? Do you know what I mean? 21 years old, okay, young and beautiful, and she was unbelievable. Beautiful face, beautiful body, everything, like head to toe. I was walking down the street with her, or wherever it was, and this just guy after guy after guy just staring, like they didn't know what to do, like that sort of thing. Yeah, she was unbelievable. A Muslim, obviously, she's going to have great morals, evidently from the virgin part, and a trainee doctor. So she's got a brain, she's switched on, she's going places in life. This woman was quite frankly perfect. I remember when I met her, I was like, oh my God, from distance. I was like, don't go overboard. And this, I'll get to a point here. This will make sense. I was like, don't go overboard. Just relax. Just do it calmly. Like she's just a normal another woman. And it just, I did just operate in that manner. But when we first kind of started texting, it was long texts. Like she would send me 2-3 paragraphs, and then that would be more and more and more. And she would answer every single question that I gave to her, and I would do the same back. And we got to know each other 100 times quicker. We were learning loads about each other, and that kind of connection just hit straight away because of that. And I was like, this is so cool. This is working so well. For you guys wondering where she was actually from, she was from Palestine, by the way. Lived in Dubai and then moved to London. Yeah, and before we met, like I'd just gone viral on TikTok, and all these people were giving me shit. And the thing is, she was saying to me that's what she liked about me, that I was masculine, that I had these old school values. She was like, these women are running around and doing terrible stuff. She was like, I'm a virgin. I'm not going to go for a guy unless he's deadly serious, and I want to be with that one person forever. She was like, I love your masculine views. I love the old school thing. So the thing that Western women were hating online, in person they were a little bit different, but online they were hating, she was loving. She was saying, that's what I actually love about you. I want to meet you because I think you're going to be a leader. And she wanted me to run the whole date. Where are we going? Where are you picking me up? Like that sort of thing. It was all on me. Just sat back, just you run it. So submissive. And like I said, the texts were long, etc. We had, we hung out for the whole day. Long eye contact conversations. And I was sat there at times, and it sounds weird, but I'm an honest guy. I was sat there, and I was literally, and Hamza mentioned this in his video, which reminded me, I was getting hard. I was literally sat there speaking with her, holding eye contact, and I was getting hard because I was like, this is an unbelievable woman. And for the first time since I was like a kid, when you're 16, you hold hands with a girl at school, and you're like, it's going to be my wife, and you start having these Walter Mitty moments where you're picturing it. I was sat opposite this woman when we were having a conversation, and I was like, I'm anti-marriage, but fuck. I was like, I'd be very tempted to marry this woman. And I was thinking it's the type of woman you could travel with, you could show to your parents, etc. I was like, it's such a good woman. That was making me hard, because that's genuine attraction. I just let it happen. I'm not like some weirdo who's going to hide it. But, it's just so organic. It was so natural. And, by the end of the day, it was like we were driving somewhere, and she was like, do you want to come and meet my friends tonight? Like, this is a first date. And she's going, do you want to come and meet my friends tonight? Do you want to... she was talking about, okay, so what's your plan then? Are you going to move to London? What's your plan moving forward? What are you doing with your business? Are you going to be more established? Is this going to be more concrete? Are you going to move to London? You're going to buy a house? What are you doing? I need to know, because I don't want a guy who's fucking around. He's going to waste my time. She was already thinking on a first date, I like this guy, I've confirmed it. Are you here to fuck around, or do you actually want me? She was thinking about kids, marriage, settling down, getting a house together. Where are we going to live and all this shit? And I was like, I don't know what to think of this. Is this thirsty? Is this weird? Is this, I didn't know what to think. And, I didn't really act on it either. Like, I really wanted to kiss this girl, but because she was a virgin, I was like, I'm going to be respectful for the first time. Which, she probably wanted me to be my natural masculine self, to just grab her, kiss her, just pick her up, do whatever I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? But excluding the sex. That's probably what she was looking for. But because I'd met a real woman, a real old school feminine woman, I was kind of like, I'm confused here. So, I had a great day, said goodbye, whatever, dropped her off. It all went well, like it was ideal. And we were like planning to meet up again. I got home and just kind of left it for like 2 weeks, because that's what you do in the UK. That's what you do with women. You don't reply because you don't want to seem thirsty. You don't want to seem like that guy who's too eager. And she's a real woman, like a real high level woman that we all speak about, we all dream about, we all want in our life. What did she do? She blocked me. She blocked everything. She was like, well, he's not serious. That's clearly what she was thinking. This guy isn't serious. Like, he hasn't messaged me for 2 weeks. No, see ya. And it clicked. I was like, she asked me to come and meet her friends. She wanted that validation that night from her friends to be like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Push forward with this guy. And like, because I was in such a degenerate mindset, and that same weekend, I'd fucked like 3 different girls, including my ex-girlfriend. I'm a nightmare. I'm a pig in that sense. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. And that is how you guys know that this is legit. Because this isn't a guy moaning about, oh, a girl that got away. It somewhat is, but I'm not moaning. But I'd slept with 3 girls that same weekend who were all beautiful. And it's like, I just didn't understand what was going on when I met a real woman that actually had a real connection with, who actually wanted for it to be quick. You know, let's talk more. Let's get to know each other. Come meet my friends. Come meet my family. Like, if you're serious about this, why are we wasting time and fucking around? I'm only getting older. And it's like, oh yeah, that's how it used to be. That's how easy it used to be for guys. But she was the opposite. Like, a guy not replying, a guy not getting back to her. Like, she said something like, I had such a lovely time, whatever. I was like, I'll ignore it. That's how I knew what it really was. And I waited like 2 weeks, like I said. And you just go, yeah, that would have worked in the UK. That would have worked with these modern women in the US and whatever, and how people are operating. Oh, he's not thirsty. That's good. He waited a little while. These women in the UK, US, they would have gone, why hasn't he replied to me? Did I do something wrong on the date? And they would have panicked. Their anxiety would have gone up. They would have thought, oh, I should have probably just put out. I probably should have just fucked him. He probably thought I was weird because I didn't kiss him or something like that. You know, maybe I should ring him now. Maybe I should fuck him next time I see him. And like, this is how I know it, because that's pretty much how I've been doing it. That these girls get so worried that you don't like them that they'll put out. And they'll be like, oh, finally, like now he'll probably like me because I've given him what he wants. She was the opposite because she was so old school. She was like, if he doesn't get back to me quickly, he clearly isn't interested. Moving on. Let's go and find somebody who is. And it clicked. I was like, the West is fucked. The West is really fucked. It's in a lot of trouble. And like, this happened like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I haven't spoken about it until now, because I've been having a good time. I just went straight back to who I was. I didn't really care. But here's the thing that's hit me lately. I've got a streaming platform that's being built as we speak. I'm filming all the projects for that. I'm gonna have a new job role. My life is gonna change completely. I'm not gonna be doing the stuff that I was doing before. And I'm like, okay, this is a real legit big business. I'm gonna be making a lot of money off this. This is gonna take my life up a few notches. I wanna start traveling. I wanna start enjoying my life. I want to start finding permanent homes. I want to travel, to different locations to film shoots and stuff like that. Then I start thinking, okay, I'm going to have, I'm getting to the age now where I want to start thinking about a long-term partner, family, kids, all that stuff. And you look around and you go, who the fuck is that? Where are you going to turn? Like, what's the best option? You're going to settle down with a woman that slept with 200 guys? Like, I just don't know how that works, because they're so different to that woman who was a virgin that I'd met. And she could have had any man in the world that she wanted, and she just didn't act like it, just didn't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, tied her hair up, put her glasses on, just walked around like nothing was happening, not trying to show off or stare, and just minding her own business, just holding eye contact, having a conversation. And you're like, that is the type of woman. And look, it's not like the one that got away and all that shit. There's going to be other women like her. They're around the world. But the point I'm making is, I don't think moving forward in my life that exists where I am. Now, will there be the odd diamond in the rough? Yeah, of course there will. There's always like one good woman and whatever. But I can see now why the Tates went out to Romania. I can really see that. I can see why the passport bros are going to all these different locations. I can see why the Tates were ready to go to Dubai. And all, Dubai's got its issues too. But you're probably going to find you're probably going to find a different type of culture there. You are going to find women who have got, religious beliefs and they haven't slept with anybody and stuff like that, especially in the surrounding areas of the UAE. So, I can see why these guys did it. It's really starting to resonate with me. And I think once this stream platform is built and I've got everything in place and I've got what I need, I'm probably going to spend a lot more time in Eastern Europe, in the UAE, in places like that, because I'm kind of disillusioned with it all. And this is coming from a guy who gets results, who's having the time of his life, who's having fun. But I don't like the way in which I'm doing it. I think it's disgusting. And I don't like the way that you have to do it to these women. You have to fuck with their head. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel fair. It's almost like I tricked you into sleeping with me. I tricked you. I manipulated you into becoming my girlfriend and shit like that. I don't like it. I want it to be, you meet a woman, she finds you attractive, like Jack was describing in Thailand. I find you attractive. I want to come over and talk to you. I'm going to admire you. We're going to get to know each other at an accelerated rate, because I'm not pretending and you're not pretending to be so aloof and, hey, whatever, I don't care. And she's like, well, I don't care either. Where the fuck is that ever going to go? I've thought this so many times. Like, I'm super aloof and cold towards people. If a woman's the same, then how is anything ever going to materialize? So somebody has to be the chaser. It used to be men, and it's slowly becoming women because the whole Me Too thing happens, and we all went, okay, well, we won't go near you now then. We won't approach you. We just won't act as thirsty as we used to. We won't let you know our actual intentions. I like you. I think you're attractive. Would you like to go for a drink this weekend? Oh, super thirsty. This guy, how dare you approach me in the workplace? So guys just went, fuck it. We're not going to bother. And we've got this crop of women now who are like, why does nobody approach me? Why does nobody come up to me? I'm getting less attention. I'm going to be alone forever. What the fuck is going on? There's no good masculine men left who are confident enough to come and have a conversation. And that's why women have started approaching. And it's changed everything completely. But it's messed up the dynamic. It's really messed up the dynamic. And when you do get a taste of like Colombian women, or like Jack in Thailand, or you go out to Eastern Europe, or, like I found like a woman who's Muslim and a virgin, and you go, wow, this is different. Oh my God. Like, this is what my dad had. This is what my granddad would have had. Like, this is what men of yesteryear who had tons of options with women, this is what they had. So then you're able to get to know them and pick the best one and make the best decision and build something for the future rather than everyone playing a character. And this is what I mean. It's just leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. And look, I'll be honest, I'll have a threesome, wake up in the morning and be like, what the fuck is this about? Like, she's got a boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's like, fuck, this girl on my left didn't even realize she's got a wedding ring on. And you just think, fuck, what a weird situation we're in now. You can have a massive argument with a woman and 5 minutes later you're smashing her back doors in. She's telling you she loves you and shit. Like, and that woman wasn't a one-off. There was a girl that I met in the UK who is quarter Pakistani. And I mean, this girl looked like an angel. She was beautiful. But she'd call me every 3-4 hours just to tell me what she was up to. If you wanted to say thirsty, it was her. But here's the thing, in hindsight, I'm like, she just was looking for a husband. And she was saying to me, she was like, I love your masculine views. I love all of the stuff online. Same thing again. And she said to me something once. She was like, are you talking to any other girls? And I was like, yeah, I am. She was like, well, I find that disgusting. And I was like, so you're not talking to any other guys? She was like, well, I've picked you. Like, you're the one I want to invest time into. Bearing in mind, we'd only known each other a week. But she was like, I've picked you. I want to invest time into you. I want to see what you're all about. I think there's a potential future with you. I want to see where it goes. And then she'd be like, so you keen on like marriage in the future and stuff like that? And my fucked up brain, because I've been involved in all this crap for so long, in the gaming of shit, I've been involved in it so long that my fucked up brain was like, this girl's on it. She's thirsty. There's too much for me. I don't need that. She's too intense. But in reality, it's like, that's probably how a woman should be. I'm getting older. I'm only beautiful for a limited amount of time in terms of external beauty, and or at least at her best. And she's like, I want to settle down. I want to find somebody. I want to get married. I want to find a good man. I found one here. Are you fucking around? Like, why are we wasting time? When these women are virgins, or when they have very few limited partners, that's the way they think. Is once they start, going around the houses a bit and testing the waters, their brains just start thinking differently. Start thinking differently in terms of like, I can have him tonight, him tomorrow, him the next day. There's another two girls that I could throw into this bracket, but it's pretty much the same story. I could reveal what happened with them. I had a girl just briefly, like, the second time we had sex, she told me she loved me. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But in hindsight, I'm like, that's kind of beautiful. Now that I'm a bit older, looking back upon reflection, I'm like, that's actually kind of beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it used to be back in the day. My mum and dad's era and everything. You're like, we've lost all that. And I'm not telling you guys to go and do it, because you will get fucked on. You'll get shat on. You'll get laughed at. Your results will be terrible. You'll be the simp nice guy. And it's like, that sucks. It's so backwards. It's like the most beautiful thing that everyone's chasing, and we're somehow pushing it away because our egos are too big. I find that weird. Like I said, there was another girl, it's a similar story. Like, she was a virgin. She was the worst kisser ever, but I found that attractive because I was like, it means you got zero experience. Do you know what I mean? And like at the time, I was like, it's terrible. But in hindsight, that's actually really attractive. And like I said, this is from a guy who's getting results, who is in the top 1% in multiple areas of life. 6'2", jacked, successful, wealthy, ambitious, moving forward in life, articulate, caring, empathetic, looks after his family. Just like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you go, oh mate, you should be celebrating. You should be having the time of your life. And it's like, but it's not actually that fun. It's it's just degeneracy. Do you know what I mean? And it's a strange one. And one thing I want to talk about, and I don't think anybody who knows her will be watching this, but I want to talk about my ex-girlfriend. So when I met my ex, she was all about me. She was obsessed with me. She wanted to see me all the time. One thing that I loved about her, when we were getting to know each other, she would send me massive texts, and I would send her back the same thing, which goes against every rule in the book. You got to keep it short. You don't want to act too thirsty, or it's too much. He sent 2 paragraphs. But she did that. She sent massive paragraphs. Well, guess what? We got to know each other quicker. And it became an effective strategy because I was like, I actually like this woman. And at the time, I was kind of dating somebody else, and I kind of liked her more. And look, she was Bengali as well, this other girl. So like, there's a trend here in my life. The best women I've met don't seem to be, Western. And the girl that I ended up having a 4-year relationship with, she was Caribbean Indian. So, there's a lot of those same traits there too. And she'd had like 3 sexual partners before me. And she was sending me massive texts. Like I said, we got on really well. When we hung out, like, we were just honest with each other. Like, nobody was hiding shit and stuff like that. And it ends up forming into a 4-year relationship. And she was all about me. She was obsessed with me. She would help me out on everything. She would, always compliment me and stuff like that. She was completely feminine. When we broke up, there was a 2-year gap. And then because of the scenario in which we broke up and we had a dog together, we'd meet up now and again. And then it got to a point where we were like, maybe we should try this again. Let's see what happens. The second time around, and I love this woman to pieces. I never want to say anything bad. But it was different. It was so different. She wasn't all about me. She had other options and let me know. Whereas before it was like, fuck everyone. Everyone's cut off. I don't want anybody but you. But she had other options and she was letting me know about it. She was like, I'm seeing 3 guys at the moment, and like laughed about it, made a joke. That she wouldn't have done that old her. Even if she was saying it to make me jealous, it's like, that sucks to hear that from a woman that you were in love with for 4 years. And her behaviors were different. The way that, she hated nights out before. She'd never been drunk in her life. But since we broke up, she'd gone out and got drunk a lot. She'd been going out all the time, meeting all these different people. I imagine getting fucked a lot. Right, it doesn't hurt me to say that. It's a beautiful woman with a perfect body. Like, I assume she's going to be meeting some high-level guys. And, like, trying to rub things in my face. Like, I know a guy who's got a real penthouse. She never would have said that before. Or saying or like I said to her, I was like, at one point, I was like, look, quit your job, I'll pay for everything. Let's go. Let's try and do the family thing. Because I was like, you've got the strongest connection of any woman that I've ever met. That like between us two, like it's been the best it's been between me and any woman. Like we didn't break up for any real reason other than I just wanted to go and focus on success. I've got it now. Quit your job, retire. Because of this whole boss bitch thing, she's like, no, I don't want to do that. I still want my own money. I still want my own job. Fair enough, right? It's your life, it's your opinion. 20, 30 years ago, a woman would have gone, yes, thank you. Fuck me. What a great man. Thank you so much. If I went to Eastern Europe and did the same thing, if I went to Colombia, did the same thing, if I went to somewhere in the UAE and did the same thing, the woman would be like, hell yeah. She probably wouldn't say hell, but she'd be like, yeah, let's do this. That sounds amazing. I'm happy to be at home all day looking after our children. That's where I see my value. And even if she doesn't want to do that, not to be straight away like, I need my own money, I need to take care of myself. That's not you talking though. And this is what's annoying. That's not her talking. Because when I first met her, she would have done that. But as soon as you get into the working world, you become a corporate woman. And you get brainwashed into thinking you need your own money. You need to climb that ladder. You need to... And it's like men don't find that attractive. A woman could be worth 10 million. I don't really care. I'll congratulate her in an entrepreneurial sense. You've got talent. Well done. I really respect you because I know what it took. But in terms of attraction, settling down, I've got no interest. If it's just about the money... And even if she's beautiful and she's got everything I ever wanted in a woman, but she's always busy, that puts me off as a man. Because I'm like, I don't need that. I'm the busy one. We don't need two masculine roles. I might as well be gay if I'm going to do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just strange. I'm like, why would you want to fulfill our role? And it's the same with the Hollywood remakes, all female cast and masculine films. It's like, what is this? It's just fucking up absolutely everything that we have. And to see a change, that really hurt me to the core, because to see a change in a woman that I was in love with for 4 years, and to see that change in the blink of an eye within a year or two, and now she's one of these independent, I'll go out, make my own money, nobody needs to provide for me. I'm seeing, include me in that bracket, because obviously we just met up and whatever, for different reasons, but we were meeting up and then we did fuck. Well, she was seeing 4 guys at once, technically. One guy's taking her on holiday. One guy's bringing her down here to the Cotswolds, right? It's like, fuck, who am I? Some, like, stupid simp? Like, obviously, I'm not going to entertain that. And it was sad because I was like, that same woman used to be so anti all of that. She'd never go out. She'd never drink. She hated the thought of going on nights out. She was like, it's just disgusting. It's just bummy drunk people falling all over the place. And this is what society's done to people. And yeah, look, I don't think women should be in the house, locked up, just, with no life. When you say stuff like your woman shouldn't even be going out without you, I'm not for that. Because my dad used to do that to my mum, so I'm very anti that. I think if a woman wants to go out, enjoy her life, so I'm not one of those guys. Like, go out with your friends, enjoy yourself, have a good time. This isn't slavery. But if she's drunk till like 4 a.m, then I would be like, it's not the greatest of behavior, is it? Do you know what I mean? And I saw that change happen. And I just thought, oh, that's not ideal. That's what the world will do to people, modern women at the moment. It's sad. It's really, really sad, because there's not many good ones in that sense left. And I think at some point when the stream platform's super established, I'm going to have to move. And it's pissing down with rain right now in the UK. The idea of being in the boiling hot sun somewhere with women with, morals, with super, super, like, low body counts. Yes, say she's 21 years old, she's a virgin, got a body count of 1 maybe at most. Like, that is resonating with me a lot more. And not because of the body count, not because of the virginity thing. It's the mindset. This is what people need to understand. Is I've slept with... I've lost count. And it's definitely... It's a lot. I don't know if I want to say a number, but it's in the hundreds. And I'm not talking 100, I'm talking hundreds. Like, I've been on a lot of lads' holidays. I've done a lot of nights out over the years. I started having sex at 14. You do the maths, it's not that difficult to add up. And the one big difference I've seen is the lower the body count of the woman, the more available she is to settling down, having a relationship, becoming attached to you. If she slept with like 20, 30 guys, forget about it. It's so difficult. Because everything's a red flag. Because she's got such prior scars and prior history with other guys. It's like, he hurt me, you're going to do the same. I've got to deal with all of his shit and his shit and his shit and his shit and his shit. Oh, he just slept with me and ran. So now she's cautious about that. And you've got to deal with so many past traumas, you know, and so many one-night stands that it's like, is it even worth the drama? And they're super confused. It's not, I know what I want. I want a husband. I want to settle down. I want to have kids. Simple. It's become overcomplicated because you've got that narrative of he cheated on me. I went online and read about it. What do I have to do now to become a boss bitch to get him back? Get your hair dyed, get a new blah, 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 go on a hoe phase. So you've got all this wacky information, and then she's gone out there and lived it, and her brain is just fried. It's the first time in history women have slept with more than probably 2 guys in a lifetime. You know? Like, I was shocked. I had this conversation with my mum after Dad died, and she was like, well, your dad's the only man I ever slept with. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah. That never really crossed my mind. You know, it's your mum and dad. But I was like, God, that generation's cool. That's fucking amazing. Like, what a bond. No wonder you fucking miss him. Do you know what I mean? No wonder you're gutted that he's gone. He's the only guy you've ever slept with. Like, that hurts you to the core. That's such a bond of like, I think it was like 25 years of marriage by the time they got divorced. But seeing that and seeing that connection, and then seeing these women now who, you know, they're asking, like, they're not asking for like Birkin bags and Ferraris and stuff like that. Some are, but you know, and that's why these American guys, that's why I do apologize, because a lot of your women are doing that and it's disgusting. But these women now, they want everything. And this is going to be in our Simp Society documentary where 5% of the guys are sleeping with all the women. And I definitely think that's true, because I was out recently and in a room full of maybe 100 guys, there was like 3 of us that were getting spoken to by women. That were getting results, that were getting numbers, like girls dancing on us, going home with girls, whatever. There was like 3 of us. And all these other guys, there was like groups of like 10 guys, like you would at high school dance, all just popping moves together, just cutting shapes. No women around them for miles. Not even a hope in hell. And like I said, I'm an absolute degenerate. I'm in the club, I've got this woman dancing on me, she turns around, I'm holding eye contact. And guys, you've got to remember, I'm a body language expert. I did it for years. I've got certificates in it. I know when to do certain things. So do not do this. And I'm also a very big guy. I can get away with it. And I didn't do it aggressively. Like, I did it lightly, but I just grabbed this girl by the throat. And I did it the week before as well. And they go wide-eyed and they love it. And I was like, let's go home. And I'm just like, but this is disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I am a degenerate. I know this game inside out. But at the same time, I was like, how the fuck has that worked? That's disgusting. But that's the point it's got to now. Where it's just like, oh, he's done something out of the norm. This guy must be the alpha in the room. It's just like, your brain is fucked. Your brain is really fucked. Like, why is that the thing that's done it for you? Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just all a game. I'm not massive about it. I'm actually... Yeah, I'm looking at these passport bros and I'm thinking, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in what you're doing. You're going to get a lot of shit online. Girls are going to say it's because you can't get women. Well, this is coming from a guy who's fucked more women than he'll ever need in a lifetime. All beautiful ones as well. Not all beautiful. When I was younger, they weren't, you know, the standard's been great lately. In the last like 2 years or so. It's coming from me. I think you guys are right. Okay. And I'm anti-marriage because financially, I think it fucks you. But with that being said, that woman who was 21 years old, she's a virgin. She's a trainee doctor. She's super intelligent. We're getting on the way we were. Well, yeah. Like if that situation popped up and she was like, in order for this to continue, if we'd been dating a year, I need you to marry me. I would seriously consider that, guys. Because the way I see marriage, and I never really saw it before, is I've always said marriage is pointless. What is the point? Well, I'm right. Marriage is pointless in the modern era because you've got nothing to trade it with. Whereas you look at certain cultures, like, look at, and I know there's multiple Indian cultures, but I look at Indian cultures, a lot of guys I used to work with, they have dowries, and you're giving a set amount of money to the family in exchange for the daughter. And it's usually the daughter's virginity, the daughter's hand in marriage for the rest of your life. You know, you can have kids with this beautiful woman. Like, that's what you're getting. Okay, the daughter is almost a bargaining chip in certain parts of the world. We can sell our daughter for X amount, so we can get ourselves out of poverty because somebody wants to marry her. What are they selling? They're selling the daughter, her beauty, etc., but they're also selling her virginity. That's what the guy's getting. And as a man who's 30 years old, who's seen it all, done it all, fucking everything you could ever imagine, right? I've been around the world, etc. Girls from every different race, girls from different countries, different colours, just whatever you imagine, right? I've probably done it. And I look and I'm like, I wouldn't marry any of you, but if a girl was a virgin, well, I would trade that in. Do you know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. I'm trading my money, my success, my assets, everything for what? A girl with a body count of 30, 40? Probably not, right? With a lot of problems, prior scars, trauma, etc. But would I trade it in for a woman who's a beautiful young virgin who isn't scarred, who loves me for me, who wants all the things moving forward, who wants to stay loyal, whose brain isn't confused and fucked up because dick confuses people. It ruins dreams. I can tell you that from experience. I've fucked up a lot of future marriages myself. I've messed up a lot of girls' heads myself, so I apologize for that. But what would I rather? I would rather the scenario of the 21-year-old virgin who, was very... I know she's not going to cheat. I know she's not going to cheat. I know she's going to be an unbelievable mother. I know that woman's going to have great conversation to the day she dies. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a solid woman. And seeing that scenario play out in the last year of my life, I was like, wow, that's a massive game changer for me. Now, would I ever get married? I still have no idea. And I don't think there's any rush from me as a man. But if I did, it would be with a woman like that. I would have to be trading my money, my success, everything that I bring for something. Which in the UK, in America, whatever, almost impossible. Unless you find a nice Catholic girl. But even that, some of these black Catholic girls, they have those sort of morals. But, you look at Passport Bros, so that's probably not the case in America anymore. So you'd probably have to go to like Eastern Europe, or you'd have to go to a Muslim country or something like that. Because you just think, where on earth are you going to find that otherwise? That's such a difficult thing to ask for now. It makes sense. It just tears society down. It tears it to pieces. There's videos I was watching the other day. I shouted the guy out and I forgot his name now. But he was talking about if women are single and they're lonely, statistically they're the biggest spenders. And he was like, that's why a lot of this is being pushed. Broken families, stay single for longer. Follow the Cardi B route, all this shit. Because if a woman's single, she buys everything. The e-commerce side of it is massive. They'll spend money to deal with the trauma. And I've always said this about men. I've said if your testosterone is low and you feel like shit, you've got anxiety, whatever, you're probably going to spend money. You're probably going to buy shit. When people are depressed, their hormones are out of sync. Life isn't going the way it should be. They've got all these problems. They spend money. And it's great for the economy. So it doesn't take a fucking genius to do 2 + 2 and realize what's going on here in the Western world and what's being promoted out. Okay? And this is from a guy who isn't religious. So I'm not some extremist who's lost his mind. I can just fucking see things clearly now. Okay? And it's sad. It is. It's really, really sad. And it's, like I said, it's being promoted out there. And you look at some of the happiest people in the world, okay? Let's say it's... there's a fitness guy. I don't know who he is. He's a former fighter or something. He's friends with Tate. The Strike It Rich guys. Or Strike It Big, sorry. They interviewed him recently. He's a Muslim guy, jacked, bold, I think, driving a Bugatti in some of the videos. And look at his unit that he's got around him. A community. If you've got a community of people that love you, respect you, you all look out for one another. You have that like village effect. And you're always there for each other. And you've got family gatherings, friend gatherings. You've got a beautiful wife who's never slept with anybody else but you. She's loyal to you. She loves you. She'd do anything for you. She'd back you forever. And you've got beautiful kids that you've raised the correct way in a home that's displaying that with a great community around you. What do you have to fear? You would have zero anxiety, zero depression. You've got everything. You've got your tribe. You've got your unit. This is what we're getting taken away from us now. We don't have tribes. We don't have communities. We don't have, 50 people sat around they use a fire table because I've got one, sat around like a fire pit at night, and just sharing stories, having a discussion, and everybody's got their unit. Like I remember with our family, it was beautiful. We'd, meet up with friends, go to the neighbour's garden, all sit out, have a chat. Like I said, my mum had never slept with anybody but my dad. My neighbours, it was the same situation. And it was like, that's my wife, we're all here, we're enjoying ourselves, we've got nothing to stress about, everybody's happy, the kids are healthy. Like, that is being ripped away from us in the Western world. It's very, very sad. And here's the closing message, guys, because I've got to go, okay? I've got, my friend's got one of the white collar boxing events that he's doing. So I've got to go and pick up a friend, drive down to Bristol, if anybody knows where that is, and we've got to go and watch it. I would love to do it myself, but if I'm going to do it with my audience size, I want to get paid. So I would do it on my streaming platform. I might take a fight very soon because I'm getting very good now, and I'd like to do it. I think it's something that every man should do. But my closing kind of statement to you guys is, I think that you guys need to stop worrying about what I did wrong. Was I too thirsty, etc. And I'm reading this out, by the way, and realize it's her fault for being like that. At the end of the day, if you want results in the UK, you've got to go out there and do what I do, okay? You've got no other choice. Otherwise, you'll be the nice guy simp. You'll get laid and then nothing of substance will come of it. That's the problem. But if you want something purposeful, the eagerness to meet up and build something quickly is beautiful and it shouldn't be torn down. And that's a message I want to leave you guys with, because so many guys are like evaluating, what did I do wrong? Why didn't she respond? Why? Because she's a fucking degenerate just like me. All of us are. We've all got this mindset now of, oh, he's too thirsty. He actually wanted to meet. Fuck is wrong with that? Oh, he actually wanted me. I said no, I rejected him. Like, she takes pride in that. Lady, you're 32 years old. What do you mean you rejected a guy? You should be going, please show up at my door now. And, the response I hear is, oh, well, women have got higher standards now. They're not settling for less. That's great if you can actually achieve those higher standards. I've always had high standards. I just couldn't attract the women I wanted. Now I can. But for a lot of you women, you can't attract a Michael B. Jordan. You can't attract a Chris Hemsworth. Okay, you can't attract a guy who's, multi-millionaire, 6 foot plus, doing well for it. It's like you don't have that option, but society's driven it into your head that you deserve a man like that. It's like, but everybody doesn't. But guess what? It sells Beyonce's albums. It sells Cardi B tickets at a show. And this is what it sells a Lululemon t-shirt. And this is what it does. It sells Gymshark leggings. Gymshark is a men's company. Gymshark is very masculine as well. It was always a men's company. What do they have on the website now? Nothing but leggings. Because they realize, fuck, that's where the money is. All these single, lonely women trying to get in shape. That's where the money is. Fashion conscious, going to the gym, worried about all this stuff. It's all an e-commerce drive, and it's tricking you. If I were a woman, I would be fucking 20, 21 years old. I wouldn't do it too young because I'd want to know who I was. I'd want to figure my mind out. But I'd be a 21-year-old virgin. I would find the highest level guy. I would keep myself in shape. I would focus purely on that sort of stuff. And I would settle down. I'd get married, have kids. If he cheated, whatever, came of that, whatnot, I'd know that I'd done my job. I did the right thing. But I would because my brain wouldn't be fucked up, I would make a calculated decision about the best possible man. And I'd be able to judge that. And I would be thirsty towards the one that I actually liked, because I would realize the benefit and the power of having a high-level man that's going to stick with you forever. I would realize that. I'd be like, okay, when I'm 40 years old and I won't look like this anymore, at least I'm going to be solid. At least I'm going to be protected. At least I'm going to be secure. Okay, because nobody wants to be a 40, 50-year-old woman that doesn't look good anymore, trying to pay all her bills herself, independent mum and all this shit. Well done for doing it. There's a lot of scenarios where it wasn't your fault, but fuck, is it rough. It's rough. It's not nice. So I just don't really see the benefit of that. So if you're a guy out there right now and you're going, shit, I was a little bit too thirsty, almost take pride in that. Because you actually want to get married. You actually want to settle down. You actually want to have kids, build a family, create something of substance. You don't want to be like me, a degenerate that's going around just fucking, 3-4 different women a week. You are actually, trying to find something beautiful. And please retain that, because I don't know if I've lost that or not. I used to be a real happy, smiley guy. You know, I used to be. I'm still, you know, I've still got that within me. I'm not saying I'm always moody, but I used to be a lot happier. I used to, you know, approach women with a smile on my face. You know, all playful, having a good time. None of that's really there anymore. You know, you go through a lot of things in life, and it breaks you down, and you rebuild yourself back up, and you become a lot more stoic. And I don't know whether that's a good thing. But if you guys out there still got that element of Disney in you and you still think that, you know, there's hope, retain an element of it. And just know, like here's the thing. If you want results, don't do any of that fucking shit. But if you want to find something with longevity, something that long term you'll go, glad I waited. Michael B. Jordan, they all called him corny. Look at him now. You know, sometimes just sticking to your guns can be the best strategy. If you want to get results, you want to sleep around, hey, come to me, I'll show you how to do it. But even I'm at that point now where I'm like, I'm getting sick of this. I want to find a real high level woman of substance. Maybe a Muslim woman, maybe a woman from Eastern Europe who's only slept with one guy maximum, you know, two guys maximum, something like that. It's just, they put value on their beauty. They put value on their low body counts. They put value on things like virginity. It's at the end of the day, like, I will never get married unless I can exchange that for virginity. It just seems nuts otherwise. I'm like, what am I getting in return that I couldn't get elsewhere if I stayed single? Marriage would be pointless, right? One thing I've been doing lately, I've been meditating. I've got loads of olive trees on the patio as well. I say loads too, but I'm getting loads of more plants coming on the patio. I've been doing stuff like that, just focusing on like cultivating my olive trees. You know, meditating. I'm obviously working on bigger business and stream platform and shit like that as well. But, you know, I'm focusing on other things like deep conversations with people, you know, spending time with people that I genuinely feel like who can improve me. And I'm trying to depollute my mind, because if I'm going to be missing out on women as great as the one I described, you know, which is every man's kind of fucking dream. I've put myself in a top level man position. And when a top level woman like that came along, I couldn't notice it, because my brain's so fucked up from everything that's happened in the past, you know, and the way my strategies are different, the way I'm going to wait 2 weeks to reply, it's just like, it's the dumbest thing ever. She wanted me to meet her friends that night. So I'm trying to retrain my brain. We're going out to Thailand soon to see Jack for a bunch of shoots. I want to see what it's like out there. And then I want to do a tour of the UAE. Then I want to do Latin America. I just want to see these different cultures. I want to do Eastern Europe too. I might just keep this place, but just do like a couple months in different areas. Just like I said, the kind of the Mr. International. I want to have like 5 different bases. I just want to see what it's like. Because I'm getting disillusioned with it all, even though I'm getting results. But that's it from me, guys. I hope that video was informative. There was a real from the core video from me. You guys never see me like kind of, I don't know if I'd use the word vulnerable, but that raw, probably that open, that raw. You know, there was more emotion in that than just, here's what you should do, get on with it. That's my job at the end of the day. I'm a self-improvement guy. There's a problem, I find a solution for it. With this, though, I just looking for the future. I'm a 30-year-old man. I want more moving forwards. I'm getting sick of a lot of this shit. Do you know what I mean? If I'm going to be owning a streaming platform, if it's going to be this major global business that I think it's going to be, if I've got all this shit to offer, I want it to go to somebody who is super high level. And I think in order to find that, even though there are diamonds in the rough in the UK, in order to find that in popular numbers or in less vast numbers, it's not here. I don't think it's here. I've become so disillusioned with Western women. And like I said, this coming from a guy who's getting results. And he's still like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is weird. Like, the games you have to play. I have to almost lie. You know, a woman be like, hey, do you want to meet up tonight? And I'm free. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. What? But then 2 weeks later, we'll be fucking. And it's like, if I had said yes, she'd be like, oh, guy's a simp. You wanted to see me. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's weird. I just want it to be simple. I want it to be, you know, you meet a woman, she's like, I really want to come and see you. Yeah, come over. Okay. And you have a very deep conversation. Nobody's trying to play a character. Nobody's trying to hide anything. You end up really clicking and you're like, we could build something here. No games. You know, there's still going to be the odd masculine shit test and stuff like that. There's still going to be the Let's see, like, it's a woman's instinct to be like, let's test this man. Let's see how good he really is. But it's none of the bullshit that's surrounding it. It's not, I'm going to talk to you and then I'm going to go and talk to that other handsome guy over there to see how you react, to see if you're jealous. Certain levels of women, say in the UAE, Eastern Europe, whatever, they would never do that. Would never dream of that. They'd think it was disgusting to do something of that nature. And I just look at it all and I'm like, I'm very good at this fucking game. I just don't enjoy it. You know? There's sports people that have done that. They're like, oh, I'm fucking amazing at tennis. I just fucking hate tennis. Cricketers that have done that. They're like, the sport's for pussies, but fuck it. It pays me $1 million a year, so I'm just going to continue doing it. There's guys I'm sure don't like getting hit in the face, but they make money fighting because they're good at it. And I can be good at it and not like it. I know what to do. I taught you guys in the previous video of why I don't chase women. And it's still the same thing. I still believe in it. This is why I don't chase women, because I do believe they should chase me. But in these other cultures, if I went out to somewhere like Colombia and was strutting around at 6'2", 95 kilograms, but like 12% body fat right now, probably like 10 by the time summer comes around, if I decide to shoot out there, a net worth of millions, you've got hundreds of thousands in the bank, just because I invest so much in the business, I don't really have millions lying around. You've got your own stream platform, your own companies off the back of that. You know, you're an articulate, intelligent guy who's learned a bit of Spanish, who could learn Spanish quickly, you know, who's got good assets, who travels a lot. I've got no problems in the penis area and stuff like that. And it's like, do you want to settle down? Those women are going to be like, yes, straight away. They're going to be thirsty as fuck. Same in Thailand, same in many parts of the UAE. And people say, oh, religion will get in the way. I've found it does to some extent, but as long as you're willing to say, hey, look, I can provide financially. I'm willing to not be one of these UK degenerates sort of thing. Sometimes they want you to convert, which I've seriously considered. Going down the Islamic route. And I'm not religious. So I'd more like pick up the cultural habits, but maybe not adopt the religion. Because I think that side of it is, really beautiful. Whereas the other side, for me as a logical man, I need to see more evidence. Which I guess that's what religion's built on, belief. But for me, it just seems a bit different. But the culture, I'm in love with. I think it's beautiful. So I've seriously considered that. And I understand a lot more now what these Americans and what the Tates were going through and what they're talking about. Because it's different over in America. And the Tates were based there for a while. I can see why they went traveling and went, fuck this. I'd like to have a roundtable discussion with a lot of those guys. I'd like to see what they think. It's a weird one, guys. I wish you all best of luck. Like I said, if you want to get laid, I can show you how to do it in the Why I Don't Chase Women video. But if you feel the same as me with this shit, we've all got to send reports back here. We've got to be like, hey, I lived in this country and it was actually great. I went here and it was great. That's up to maybe somebody like me to do a bunch of traveling and then feed back to you guys. But I'm so disillusioned with it all. But I better shoot off. I've got to go and pick someone up. It's going to be a good night. Hopefully my friend wins. If anybody drops out and they're my weight, we're going in. See you later, guys.